Alright, now we got the battery fixed. Let's address this airbag light. So whenever we start the thing up, we see this airbag light down here. And what these things will do is they'll flash a code. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that tells me it's code 47. Code 47 is for the passenger side belt tensioner. These things are pretty known for having a connection issue down under the passenger seat. So first thing we're going to try is just to disconnect that connector, clean it up with some contact cleaner, and put it back together and see if that takes care of it. So we'll come in here under the passenger seat. As you can see, that yellow connector, that's what we're going to unplug, clean up, and put back together. Alright, we can see we got it unplugged here. We've got it cleaned up. We're going to plug this thing back in. And alright, let's see if that took care of the problem. No, it's still flashing the code. It's like we're going to have to dig into this a little further. Alright, so we've got the scan tool pulled up here. I'm looking at the passenger side belt retractor, looking at the ohms. It's reading 6.3. That should be between 1.6 and 3.2. The next part we need to do is jumper across the wires underneath the seat and see if the ohm reading drops back down. If it does, that tells me that I've got a bad retractor, which I'm going to have to replace then. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to use my paper clip to jumper across these two wires and watch my my ohms, see if they drop back down. Jump across there, it reads 0.2 to 0.3, so that tells me that I've got a bad retractor. So now that we determined that it's our pre-tensioner built into here, we need to get that thing out. Now to replace it, they want $170 for the part. I did find a company online that will rebuild them for $50. So what I'm gonna have to do is get the whole seat out of here, get my buckle taken off, mailed off to them, have them repair it, and then they'll send it back to me. Then we'll put it all back together. Alright, to get the seat out, first thing we need to remove this. This just has some clips you gotta pull out. There's no bolts that hold it in. Then we can expose the bolts for the actual seat that we're gonna need to get out. Before you try to pull the seat out, don't forget to come under here and unplug that pigtail. So to get the seat out, we've got 1, 2, 3 bolts in the back. And if we come up front, you've got 1, 2. All these are going to have to be removed. Now there's two ways you can go about the center seat belt. One is to just feed it back down through the seat, but I'm actually just going to remove these 2 bolts to just have the seat belts come out with the seat. Alright, now we got the seat out. Got it sitting right in here. We'll get to going on getting that pre-tensioner off. Alright, here we're looking at the bottom of the seat. Here's our pigtail for our sensor we had to unplug. This is the guy we're replacing right here. So we've got a nut and a bolt that runs through right there. See if we can get this apart. Now this one is a size 15. It's pretty easy to get a wrench in on there and loosen it up. Now there's some clips. Hold that in, you got to pull out. I've got the nut off this side. See if we can get this thing out of here. Alright, there we've got it out. The way this thing works, it's got a cable here that attaches to the buckle. You can see how this is kind of an accordion. When this charge goes off when you get in an accident, it cinches this down. Make sure your seatbelt's tight before the airbags go off. Alright, now we ship it off and wait for it to come back. In the meantime, I'm going to go clean the Shelby. Alright, so we got the seatbelt back from the company that rebuilt it. For anyone that wants to know, it's safetyrestore.com. That's what I used to rebuild this thing. Now let's get it installed and make sure it works. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to plug this thing in to our pigtail here, just to make sure before I put the whole seat back in that this fixed the concern. Got it plugged in over here. Let's see if that fixes it. Once again, looking at the light down here. And it's gone. So I think we're good. We'll go ahead and get this thing cleaned up, vacuumed out, get our pre-tensioner installed back on our seat, and then get our seat back in the truck.
Shut up and sit down.
So my camera didn't work when I was installing this, but you guys saw how it comes out. I just fed it back up through here, put the nut back on it, ran my wire down underneath, reconnected my clips at the seat. It's really only one way it can go in there. This little notch sits on that dowel pin. Alright, put the seat back in. Everything's all put back together. Right before the rain hit. Another common code that these trucks have is a code 27. What that one is actually when this light bulb burns out, it'll give you a code 27. Now the problem we had on this truck was a code 47, so it's different, but those are going to be your two most common. Now on the code 27, it's pretty easy to tell. Once again, you'll get your airbag light that flashes here to give you the code 27. But the other thing that we can do is, as soon as you turn your key on, you'll see this light, and if it doesn't come on and illuminate like that, you know that's the problem you're running into. If this video is helpful, be sure to like and subscribe.